Ladies and gentlemen, the Mollusk returns! Ignore whatever kids game those banners are advertising, this is an 8th edition game. And once again I face off against Tigris, because we enjoy playing each other, and why stop? This time however, the gloves are off and he's bringing the hurt with his Dark Elves. I'm playing the same list as before, because I'm a bit boring like that, with the minor tweak that Eeyore the Gorgon has turned into Eeyore the Cygor. I'm expecting this to be a pretty tough match, as I can't think of a worse matchup for my list than Dark Elves. And this list apparently gave good account of itself against the army the planetary governor used to win all his games in a recent tournament. However, I do have a lot of trolls. Here's how the field looks after Vanguard, and I will go through our deployments. So I have got a Tuskor Chariot, Eeyore the Cygor, a Razorgore, another Tuskor Chariot, a herd of Minotaurs, led by a proxied Throg, a bunker of gore with my general, Twiskin, the level 4 Great Bray Shaman, beasts of course, need you ask, a butt ton of trolls led by the battle standard bearer, what's his name, Heartache, the Doombull, a Razorgore, Heartbleed, the flying Doombull of Doom, and another Razorgore. Over on Tigris' side we have Dark Riders, Doomfire Warlocks, what are they called? The Crossbowmen, a sizable block of Blackguard. Inside is his level 4 Sorceress and General. Next to them a brick of Executioners, with the Death Hag and her potion, a BSB, and Tularis. Crossbowmen, Doomfire Warlocks, Crossbowmen. So we go into turn 1, Tigris wins the roll and gives me the opportunity to go first. And with what some may call misplaced confidence, my herd goes bellowing forwards. I'm hanging back with the chariot on the far left, because I want the Dark Riders to be lured into failing a charge, or be forced to sit there, but I'm way too close. The Doombull's got himself a nice juicy flank, and with his 3 up the ward, the crossbows and Doombolts don't really worry me that much. But the pigs, I never get this right. The Executioners really scare me, because at this point I don't realise that Killing Blow doesn't work on monstrous infantry. I also don't realise they're frenzied, and luring them into a charge isn't going to be that difficult. The big mistake was moving the trolls up too close behind the Razorgore. I'm thinking now I should have sat both the trolls and the Minotaurs back behind the cover, with the Razorgore in front of the Executioners facing off this way. Lure them into charging, overrunning the pig, into the Minotaurs, and then hitting them in the flank the next turn with the trolls. Meanwhile using this Razorgore to redirect the Blackguard from joining in too soon. Ah, hindsight. But yeah, if you've got any thoughts about what I should have done, feel free to drop it down in the comments, as this is something I really think I need to improve at, among all the other things. And speaking of all the other things, we go into the magic phase, and it's 6 dice to 6, because of his channels. I consider 4 dicing Curse of Armpit Hair, 2 dicing Wild Form, but then I decide I really need Armpit Hair on the Executioners, and so I 6 dice it. Somewhat predictably, I Dimensionally Cascade, more than halving my Gore unit, and turn 1ing my General and only Spellcaster. Fuck. Needless to say, the Gore panic and run for the hills, which causes the Chariot to panic. But thanks to Throg and the BSB, the Razorgore aren't going anywhere. Really love that ability. After Tigris reminded me that I in fact have a shooting phase, the Cygor puts a rock on the Executioners, killing 3 or 4. So with that debacle over and done with, the Elves kick into action. The Executioners fail their rerollable frenzy check and charge the pig, and the Dark Riders make their charge into the chariot like it was nothing, although one of them does run into a tree and die, which I can't complain about. The rest of movement looks like this. In the centre, the Elves just move up into my face, no respect for the Minotaurs, and the crossbows get the Doombull in their sights. In the magic phase, I think I had 4 dice to his quite a lot. He cast Power of Darkness on his Blackguard, which I used my dice to stop. He rolled relatively low, and I figured without a wizard I might as well stop 1 spell. But then, the Doomfire Warlocks cast a Augmented Soul Blight. Holy arse biscuits. Turns out I've never read this spell properly. All of my units within 24 inches of him, which is essentially my entire army, are now at -1 strength and toughness. This is negative wild form on overdrive. Seriously, how did I not know about this? So, the archers pelt the enfeebled Doombull and take 2 wounds off him. The Soul Blight was cast by these warlocks, by the way, so they didn't have to worry about the Cygor. In combat, the Dark Riders nearly kill the chariot, and actually it looks like they didn't take a dangerous terrain. The chariots here with their great weapon probably got one. Be that as it may, the chariot flees, and the riders fail to catch it. The executioners easily kill the pig and overrun into the trolls, but look how many wounds they've taken from Curse of Honor here. Worth the loss of the wizard? Could be. And so we're going to Beastmen turn 2. Throg and the Minotaurs charge the Blackguard, of course they do. Heartbleed the Doombull charges the Doomfire Warlocks, who elect to flee, and then he redirects into the Crossbowmen, just as planned. The Gore on the chariot on the far left rally miraculously, but not so the chariot in the middle. He will be off next turn. In the rest of movement, the pig moves here to get either a rear charge on the Warlocks or a flank charge on the Executioners. In shooting, which I got reminded about again, Eeyore splats 4 crossbowmen with his rock, slowly earning back those 275 points. In combat here, the Doombull cleans up, the Elves run like sissy girls 5 inches, and Heartbleed's so busy gobbling he only runs 1 after them. Damn it, Bloodgreed. Over here, Heartache the Gorbel gets into a challenge with the unit champion, and it turns out the Elves have brought the Flaming Banner. And it turns out that unlike the rest of us, Tigris hasn't read the Beastmen army book, cover to cover each evening, and it's my delight to introduce him to the Blackened Plate. The Gorbel promptly fails his 2+ ward save, and takes a wound, but guts the elf, netting us 3 combat res. The elves then hack away at the trolls with frenzied abandon, but the Blackened Plate gives the trolls a 4+ ward save rather than their regen. Even so, he kills 3 trolls, which wasn't bad considering. In return, the trolls kill 6 executioners and draw combat. Or rather lose by 1 because the Dark Elves have brought a musician, but we stick on a 7. Go trolls! Over here, this didn't go so well. The Blackguard end the Minotaurs before they can attack, and most of the wounds we did was from Throg vomiting all over the Elves. We break and run, they fail to catch us, but Throg stubs his toe on a dangerous ruin and dies to dangerous terrain. Sigh. So would you believe, now it's his turn. The Dark Riders charge the chariot again to finish the job. The Blackguard charge the Minotaurs, catch them, and overrun to where you see there. The fleeing crossbowmen right at the top of the picture continue to flee, but there's plenty of crossbowmen where they came from, and the Doombull is looking a little bit exposed. Because Warlocks don't have enough advantages for their points cost, they rally automatically and move to where you see here. In Magic, he tries to Soul Blight the Trolls, and I stop it. In shooting, the Doombull survives completely unscathed, and in combat, the Dark Riders smash the chariot, reforming to look at the Cygor, and that can't be a pretty view, I'm telling you now. And we go over to the Trolls, and now I'm starting to hope. I don't think it's unreasonable that we beat this unit here, reform and go for a rear charge on the Blackguard next turn, leaving the Razorgore and the Doombull to finish off any characters remaining from the Executioner unit. The Gorbel gets into a challenge with Talaris and wounds him and takes no damage in return. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's not to be. The Trolls flub, I can't roll 4-up ward saves, we lose by 2 or something, and I can't roll a 5 on a reroll, and he runs us down by pursuing 4 inches. Sad times. So what the hell? The Gore charge the flank of the Blackguard. The Cygor charges the Warlocks who flee, and I'm loving where they ended up, and then redirects into the other flank of the Blackguard. The Doombull charges the small group of fleeing archers off the board, and then redirects into the big group, laughing off their stand and shoot. And with a Leroy Jenkins, the Razorgore charges Talaris and the Death Hag. Yep, dead before it could swing. Over here. This is what makes Warhammer such a great game. The Blackguard decimate the Gore, leaving only the champion. The Cygor flails around miserably, because he's not touching anyone with a magic weapon or any kind of magic, takes some wounds, kills some Blackguard, stomps on 3 more, and obviously we lose combat horribly. The terrifying Stubborn Leadership 8 monster turns tail and flees, but the epic little foe render refuses to give ground and sticks on a 4. I believe he did also kill one of the elf swine in the combat. We could be about to witness a new legend being born. Making up for all that, Heartbleed is busily picking up some points, so we don't get completely shamed today. He breaks the crossbowmen who flee, and then overruns into the already fleeing warlocks, destroying them. Mwahahaha. So with that, it's back to the Dark Elves. The Dark Riders ride down the Cygor, and this time they do take a casualty in the woods. The Elf Pansies decide they need reinforcements to take down this heroic foe remnant, and the remnants of the Executioners turn to face the Doombull. Skipping straight into combat, the Elves make a very fine goatee pate, and everyone turns to look at the Doombull. Heartbleed then flaps his pathetically small wings, and moves to stare pointedly into Talaris' ear. Well, that was one of the shortest turns I've ever had. And it's back to the Dark Elves. They move like this. The Doomfire Warlocks' irresistible force the big Doombolt, and only freaking one of them implodes. My Doombull's got 3 wounds left, and I've got to roll 5 3-up saves. Yeah, you know I can't do that. And Heartbleed goes down. And then the Warlocks line up, and then one at a time, ever so slowly, they teabag his corpse. So there we go, guys. There's the end of the game, tabled at the end of turn 4. And I had an absolutely fantastic time. There's a reason why I keep playing Tigris. Absolutely brilliant. With Dark Elves, it's always going to be a tough match, although the fact he brought the Flaming Banner was awesome. I made a couple of big mistakes in the first turn with the magic phase and the positioning of my monstrous infantry blocks and Razor Gores, and those mistakes I just can't afford to be making if my aim is to actually win the game. But even after that first turn disaster, and I held out hope that the Trolls might just be able to pull through, and I think with just a smidgen more luck, they would have done it. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe they would have taken 2 turns of being blasted by Doomfire Warlocks and erased from the pages of history, but that's Warhammer. And it's games like these that remind me why I love this game so much. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, take care, and I'll catch you on the next one.